Jai Hind. So let's continue with our interview series. So in the last video, we covered that what does interviewing officer do before he actually starts the interview. So after he's put the candidate at ease and he's sure that he's no longer excessively nervous, then he will start the interview, and he would possibly start by saying that you know. During the next about 40 minutes or so, we'll be talking more about you, covering areas like your education, family, spare time interests, etc. in detail. I have got some idea about these from the PIQ form that you have filled up. Now you may talk freely about yourself and your activities. Suppose you tell me about your education and training. In that, I'll be interested in the subjects that you liked the most and the ones you did not care so much about, grades that you achieved in various exams, effort that was put in by you to achieve those grades, extracurricular, co-curricular activities that were available in your school and college, events that you participated in, any special achievement in these areas. Tell me about your friends, the closest friends you have. Why do you consider them so? Tell me about your teachers you like the most and the ones who did not impress you much. So now you may start with your class 8th onwards. Maybe for NDA candidates, he may ask from class 8th onwards because they've studied only up to 12th class. And for graduates, he may say, okay, you may start from 10th class onwards. So now is the candidates part. He's asked you a series of questions, right? And now, some of you may be able to remember all of these or whatever number of questions he's asked you, and you start answering them one by one. Correct? Now, some of you may not remember all of them and you'll get stuck somewhere in between. So he will remind you as to, these are the things that you've missed out. Normally what we've seen is the candidates tend to speak about the positive aspects of it and they will leave out the negative aspects or the things that they've not done. They will start skipping those things, right? So in any case, he will ask you to cover all these things. Once you've start giving answers, we make sure that we do not interrupt the candidate so that there is a smooth flow of thought that is maintained, right? So whatever you speak, interviewing officer is always smiling and keeps noting down what you say, and he does not object to it unless you are going way off the mark and he feels that time is being wasted, right? So in your education and training, you will possibly cover up, which school did you study and what all did you accomplish there. So this is the place where you can showcase as to whatever you have done in your school. If you've say come first in a particular subject somewhere in some class, you were monitor somewhere, or you were school captain, or you've scored 100% marks in a subject, these are the achievements of yours that you should definitely encash on while you are speaking about it, right? I would also recommend that if you've taken a drop in your education, then it is a good idea to speak yourself about it. As an interviewing officer, I am interested whether the drop that you've taken, you've put it to good use or no. If you say you took a drop because you wanted to qualify in JEE exam, and if I ask you what was your score, and then you say, sir, it was 2,35,000 something. So that means you've taken a drop, but you wasted that year. So if you've taken a drop for a particular thing, have you justified taking that drop or no? And all those who are still studying, my recommendation is never take a drop, because it mars your chances of couple of chances which you could have availed during that 1 year of drop. So don't take a drop. Everyone has got 24 hours. You make use of time in a manner that you extract those additional hours for your studies instead of taking a drop, right? Cut down on your sleep, cut down on your maybe some extracurricular activities which you feel are wasteful, cut down on your mobile and Facebook time, and you will find you have sufficient time to invest anywhere that you want to, right? So then is the extracurricular co-curricular activities. Now, even if you've participated in a dance or a song, or you've done some fancy dress in your school time, or you've participated in a bhangra competition, or if you've done debate and a declamation in your school, you've done the news reading in the mornings, so do make a mention of that. See, we want, what did I tell you? What is it that army looking for? Average, above average person who's got all-round developed personality. So what is all-round developed personality? The person who's not only interested in academics, but he is also interested in other activities which are going on. If you say, I did not play any games, I did not do any extracurricular activities, I have not done anything but being a bookworm all through, and I have got 90% marks, I am not finding you suitable for this particular job. That is not what we are looking for. We are looking for a person who's got all-round developed personality. Got it? So that you must keep in mind. Then let's move on about other than the extracurricular activities. He asked you about your friends. Now when you come to friends, now remember, a lot of you tend to say that I have got 500 friends, and when I ask you, how do you have those 500 friends, you think of Facebook, that you've got so many friends there. Now those people are not your friends. Of course, Facebook mentions them as your friends because they want to encash on that. You see, the people that you know in your life, you can possibly divide them into 3 categories, right? One are just acquaintances. Acquaintances are the people you go to school or college, you find that yes, the other person also studies here, you see him every day, so he is acquaintance. He also knows, possibly you also study in the same institution, but you do not interact with him on, you hardly interact with him. Then you have people who are a little closer than that. Those are the people you interact on frequent intervals. There will be 5-6 of them, not exceeding maybe 10, that you interact on regular basis. And then you have this close friends of yours, that will be only 2-3, who's a close friend circle that you can, you can put a person in friends category if you can call him at 3 o'clock in the morning without any hesitation and tell him that you need his help and you bloody well come here. Then he is your close friend. But if you have to think of a time when you call him, you have to think of whether he'll like it or not, then he is not in your close friend category, right? And then you have only one person as your best friend, that whatever you do, you possibly use him as a sounding board, or ask him before you do, take his advice, and you feel happy spending time with him. He is your best friend. When we ask you who's your best friend, you will say, sir, all 5 people are my best friends. That's simple English. You have good, better and best. Best cannot be other than the best. He has to be one person. So decide in your mind that, suppose you get recommended in SSB, out of this lot, who will you call up first to inform that you got recommended? Maybe he's the person who's your best friend, right? So always remember to answer the question which has been asked to you in a clear manner. You should have that clarity of thought in your mind. If you are asked who's your best friend, you should be able to say so and so is my best friend, right? And having done that, then questions may be asked that, why do you consider him to be your best friend, right? Or if I ask your best friend to describe your personality, how will he describe you? So these are possibly the questions that you can ask about friend. You may be asked these questions about your friendship. Then you move on to teachers, right? In teachers, we ask you basically which are the teachers you liked and which are the ones who are not, you did not like. It's not necessary that you have to give out the name of a teacher you did not like. There may be many students who feel that no teacher was bad enough. But if you've genuinely had a teacher who kind of did not do justice to whatever he or she was teaching, and and then you can definitely make a mention of it. But along with that, the question will be asked is, what have you done about it? Have you taken due measures to firstly apprise the teacher of what you people are not liking, and then if that is not getting corrected, then have you gathered courage to go to the principal and tell him that we are not getting benefit of the teacher teaching us? So if you've done these, if you've taken these measures, then you are on the right side. Otherwise, you are not on the right side. Similarly, subjects that you've liked and the subjects that you did not like. Now, if I say that, mathematics is my favorite subject, and I say, I ask you a very, very simple question of mathematics and you mess it up, that will convey a wrong message, because I am taking everything what you say as at the face value. But then I want to trust you, but at the same time I want to verify what you are saying is correct or no, right? If you say science was your science is your favorite subject, and in 11th and 12th you've taken commerce, then it is contradicting. Then science may not be your favorite subject. Otherwise you would have pursued science, right? So that you should remember. Now, when you explain about your extracurricular activities, like I said, debate and declamation you've mentioned there, then if I ask you which was the debate that you participated in and when, you should be able to give me the year and at least the topic of the debate. You spoke for or against, you should be able to say that. You should be able to give me a couple of points that you gave in favor of that topic. That is how I confirm whether you are speaking the truth or no. Understood? So whatever you mention there, you must be aware of that. You should be able to justify what you are saying, right? Otherwise, you don't even know what is the difference between debate and a declamation, and you say you participated in one. So that means there is something amiss, something wrong, right? So that you should be able to tell me, right? This is, after he has listened to you all this, he will definitely like to inquire as to whatever you have said, whether that's correct or it's not correct. Right? If you've given out that a particular answer or a particular statement about a particular school, then whether it is justified or it is not justified, he would like to clarify that. So we are not kind of doubting what you're saying, but we are only trying to verify that whatever you have said is correct as far as you are concerned, and you are able to justify that. You are not saying for the heck of it. So you know what you are saying. So these are the things which are covered in the first part of the interview. We will continue this in subsequent videos. I don't want to make it too long. So keep watching till we meet again. But do like the video if you like the content, and do share it with your friends, and so that they also benefit. Right? Take care. Jai Hind.